Gabby and welcome back to Yoga Pilates with Gabby. So if you are over 40 and you often struggle with tight hips or hamstrings, then this class would be perfect for you. I would suggest you bringing some blocks with you, but if you don't have any, that's absolutely fine. You can grab a couple of sturdy books, a water bottle, or even a folded blanket or towel. Anything really that will bring the floor up closer to you. So we're going to start on our backs. So coming down, nice and gently, and bringing your knees into your chest. Holding onto your shins. You start by taking a nice deep inhale through the nose, maybe out through the mouth, and making a few circles with your knees. Switch directions. And bring both knees out towards your armpits. Loosening the hips. Maybe rocking gently from left to right. And then bring the knees together, drop the feet to the floor, and straighten out your left leg. So you can keep your leg bent, or you can have it completely straight. You just don't want to feel any pulling sensation in your hamstring. So this should be nice and comfortable and not painful. So it should feel very juicy. You're going to breathe in to bend the leg, and breathe out to straighten the leg as much as you can and flex the foot. Moving with breath. Inhale, exhale, reach through the heel and flex, engage the quad if you can to find more extension through the hamstring. Breathing in and out. And in and out. Maybe pointing through the foot and dropping the leg. Onto the other side, straightening the leg as much as you can. You can support your hands onto your thigh, or you can just rest them beside you. Inhale to bend and exhale to straighten as much as you can. Breathing out, reach through the heel, engage the quad. And we're in no rush, it's nice and slow. Lovely, maybe pointing the toes. And release. So rolling onto your side, bring yourself up and come to the front of your mat. So bringing your feet underneath your hips. First of all, taking the arms out in front of you, making fists with your hands just to warm the fingers up gently. Flash your fingers forward like you're getting some water off your fingers. Make a few circles. That's great. And bring your hands down by your side. Inhale to reach tall through the crown of your head. Exhale to tuck your chin to your chest. Round your shoulders, bending your knees and rolling down. Breathing in at the bottom. And exhale to round the spine, draw the belly in, and articulate your spine back up to standing. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, reach nice and tall. And exhale, chin gently to the chest, bending the knees quite deeply. Inhale at the bottom. And exhale. Slowly rolling yourself up Engaging your core, stacking your spine up, and roll the shoulders back. Once more like that. Inhale to lift, exhale to lift up and over, bending the knees. Hands can come to your shins. Inhale to lift halfway, straighten the arms and reach the chest forward. Exhale to fold over. Stepping your right foot back into a lunge and dropping the knee. So this is where you can have 2 blocks either side of your foot. You can have your back toes tucked or you can point. Opening your chest, lifting your chest up, drawing the belly in, really feeling that lovely stretch in the left hip, sinking quite gently down into the left hip. Deep breaths here. On your next exhale, both hands are going to move inside of your foot and your foot's going to move over to the left slightly. So again, hands on blocks. You can come down onto your forearms. It's completely up to you. Sinking into that left hip. Opening the chest. And engage in the core. Again, you can play with pointing the foot and pressing the top of the foot into the mat, or tucking the toes for a bit more stability. One more breath here. One more breath out. Heel toeing your foot back into center. And gently tucking your back toes and lifting your back knee off the mat. If you're comfortable here, straightening the front leg, engage your core, and with a flat back, look forward and fold over your front leg. So keeping a micro bend in your front knee, never locking that front leg. And if this is way too much for you, please drop your back knee and pull your leg to straight with a flexed foot. 2 deep inhales here. The back leg's strong, the quads are engaged, and think length through the spine. Please don't worry how deep you're getting. Dropping the back knee and bringing both knees together. Stepping your right foot forward, and the knee is over the ankle. Placing blocks either side of your foot. Opening your chest, draw your belly in. Keep the spine nice and long. And just sinking very gently into that right hip. Feeling the back hip flexor open. And you can keep your gaze up, or you can drop it slightly. On your next exhale, taking both hands inside the right foot and taking the right foot out slightly. Again, you can come onto blocks. You can point or flex your back foot. Really push into the top of that back foot if you've chosen to point your toes. Again, roll your shoulders open, lift your chest up. And try and keep your right knee pulling into the midline. Don't let it spread out to the right. If this is a lot for your fingers, there's the option to come onto your wrists, onto your fists. One more deep breath in. And out. Okay, bringing your right foot in, heel toe, back to center. Placing your hands either side of your foot, tucking your back toes and lifting your back knee. This might be plenty for some of you. If you can, straightening your front leg, keep a little bend in the front leg. Open your chest, keep the spine long. Stay like this, or gently fold. Again, you can lower your back knee and you can straighten this leg. Always keep a bend and drag back on the heel. One more long inhale here. A nice long exhale, maybe through the mouth. Lovely, re-bend in the front knee. Drop in the back knee and bring both knees together. Okay, coming onto our sides. So lining your spine up with the back edge of your mat. And you can rest your hand on your head, or you can lie it down and rest your head on your arm here. So what we want here is a nice long straight line. You want your hips stacked on top of one another, and you want to elongate through your waist, lift up through your bottom waist. You can have a towel or a cushion underneath your hip for more stability. And your top hand, the fingers are facing up, and you're pressing into your hand. So there's an option to bring your bottom leg into a right angle, and that will make this a little bit easier. But if you can, the legs are stacked on top of one another and the inner thighs are glued together. You're going to lift your top leg up and flex the foot. Breathe in to move that leg forward, and exhale to point the toe and kick back just behind the hip. Inhale, draw the belly in, and exhale, point through the toes, squeeze the glutes, lengthen through the hamstring. We've got 5 of these. Breathing in and out. So try not to roll back on your hip, and try not to roll forward. You want your hips stacked. One more. And breathing out, reach behind the hip. Make the movement small if you need to, and drop the leg. Coming on to the other side. So this movement is really good to both strengthen and lengthen through the hamstring and hip. So setting up, legs are glued together, inner thighs are engaged, hips are stacked on top of one another. Your core is engaged to protect your lower back, and you're lengthening through this hip. You're also lifting up through the bottom hip. Shoulders relax, head relaxes, and your fingers are pointing towards the top of the mat, pressing into the mat. Bringing your top leg up to hip height, flexing the foot, pressing to the bottom leg. Breathe in to kick the leg forward, and breathe out to point through the toe and find the extension. Breathing in. So just shorten the range if you find yourself struggling, and you can also bend the bottom leg. And exhale, nice and slow, press into the bottom leg. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Make it nice and slow, point through the toes, stretch through the hamstring. And bring the legs together. Lovely. One more nice stretch now. So coming up to stand. And we're going to go into a wide leg forward fold. So I like to line the back of my heels up with the long edge of the mat, just to make sure I'm in a nice straight line. And the wider you have your feet, the more stable it will be for you. Hands come to the hips. Deep bend in the knees. Breathe in. Draw your belly in. Relax your shoulders. And tip your pelvis forward. Think of it as hinging from the hips. Keep your spine nice and long. So you can stop here, that might be plenty. If you feel comfortable, dropping your head and coming down. So you can keep your hands on your thighs, or you can bring them down to the floor. I want you to come onto your fingertips if your hands are on the floor, or just come to your thighs, look up halfway once more, breathe in, and exhale, folding. Once more like this. Always prioritizing length. Inhale, exhale to gently fold. Drawing up through the inner arches of your feet. One last breath in. One last breath out. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, walking to the front of your mat. Dropping the back knee and knees together. We're going to end in child's pose. So bringing the knees out quite wide. You can also have your knees in together. See what feels nice for you. Your big toes touch and your hands walk forward. Dropping the head. Inhale to reach the fingers forward. Exhale to drop through the hips and feel a nice stretch in your hips and in your lower back. Calm down the breath. And if you have longer, then please stay here. Walking your hands towards your knees, bringing them together. And that's our done for today. So thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you in my next class. Have a great day.